Those of you who have spent more than 5 minutes on my channel or have had the misfortune of catching one of my live streams know I am no stranger to unpopular opinions. I'm not afraid to voice the things that most of us want to voice, or maybe some of us want to voice, and we're just too afraid because of public backlash. So here it goes, probably the most unpopular opinion of this year. We judge this game too harshly. It does not deserve the terrible reviews that it has. Now, don't get me wrong, the game does have flaws, and it does have problems. But I think the 2 out of 10s, the 3 out of 10s that you're seeing for this game, the 1 out of 5, are uncalled for. So in today's video, I am going to convince you that you should play this game. At the very least, play the story if you can get it for at least half off. Now, you will also take note that I will not say the game's name at all in this video or in the description, because everyone has convinced you that if I say the beginning of this or the second name of this game, I will automatically get blocked because it's the forbidden words by the algorithm. So let's start off with some of the criticisms that I know you've heard, and then you're going to say, well, I'm not going to play this game because, oh, it's too repetitive. It's a looter shooter. Tell me that Warframe, Borderlands, Destiny aren't too repetitive. How many of y'all have been playing World of Warcraft for 20 years and all you do is log on and do the same raids for 2 years at a time? I do not think it is a valid criticism to say the game is too repetitive, especially for its genre, because you could apply that to any game. Diablo 2, all you do is take out the same enemies to grind loot. Minecraft, all you do is open build in the same worlds over and over and over again. The Legend of Zelda, all you do is solve the same puzzles over and over again. The repetition doesn't matter if the core gameplay is fun. Again, that's why some people have been playing World of Warcraft for 20 years and doing the same raids every single night with their guild over and over and over again, because it's fun to play with friends. So is the core gameplay for this game fun? And I'm going to say yes. Now, again, there are some flaws. And I agree with the criticism that it was a huge miss to make every character focus on guns. Why does Captain Boomerang, with Boomerang in his name, focus on guns instead of boomerangs? Why am I playing as a shark with some sort of godlike abilities who is just holding a shotgun? That is a miss, but it's still fun to play. With the variance between, not being able to use shields, grenades only, affliction only, counterattacks only, and the traversal that is a ton of fun to teleport around the battlefield, it keeps it fresh, it mixes it up. I had less variation playing Borderlands and Warframe. So again, if you're going to call it repetitive and boring, then you also need to call those games repetitive and boring, which I could doubt anyone would say. There does seem to be plenty of loot that changes up the way that you use weapons, the way that you play. If you have different play styles, you can do run and gun, you can do tanking, you can do long-range sharpshooting. There's enough variance here that you can find a play style for you, as long as that play style doesn't involve melee or boomerangs. And again, remember, we're talking if you can get this game for half off. $70 probably too much, but at $30 or $20 on the Steam Summer Sale, I think it's a good price for that much. I thought the story was pretty amazing on this game, actually. Which, when you're talking about DC, you're pretty hard-pressed to give compliments with the way that their movies go, at least. And their games can be hit or miss. But every moment along the way in the story, I felt like I wanted to keep playing to see how the story ended. The characters had a lot of great interactions with each other, it felt alive, it felt vibrant. It was nice to see Harley Quinn get some nice story stuff. King Shark and Captain Boomerang were always good for a good laugh, and there were some genuine laughs in there, like some funny, good writing. Is it going to revolutionize the world? No. Is it the next Dante's Inferno? No. But I have certainly seen much worse stories in much more expensive games. Like The Last of Us 2. Some of the Borderlands games have awful stories. Mortal Kombat. Monster Hunter. Point being, there's plenty of games with bad stories that cost just as much, and this one at least had a fun, good story. Now, I will say the ending of the story is not very satisfying. I'll try not to give spoilers, but obviously they intended the game to be a live service game, which means they had to keep you coming back for more and more and more, which I do think subtracts from the overall experience, especially since there's no chance this is a live service game for the next 5 years. I'd honestly be surprised if the servers were still up for 2 more years. which is all the more reason to get the game now and enjoy it for what it is. Am I saying you'll play it forever? No. Am I saying you need to play it for the next 2 years? No. But if you even get 10, 20 hours of entertainment out of it for 20 bucks and get to enjoy a fun little story, why wouldn't you? We talk about video game preservation a whole lot, and how many games, especially older games, are being lost to time, no longer playable. If we consider video games as the art form that we consider them as, why not experience this art for what it is while it exists, knowing that that time is ticking and it may not exist forever, unless they give it the Redfall treatment and give you an offline mode, which, let's face it, with less than 400 players, basically every mode is offline mode right now. Now let's talk about the other elephant in the room, the pricing of the game. I have not personally done the math on this, but I have seen people who put calculations up saying if you purchased absolutely everything in the game, in the store, everything, it would cost you around $600 to $700 depending on how much in bulk you bought and maybe any sales going on. Obviously, when we're talking about the game being $70 being overpriced, the idea of paying $700 for cosmetics is absolutely insane. But as far as I can tell, those are all cosmetics. Unless, of course, you want to unlock new characters, which you can just pay to unlock. But it is possible to grind to unlock them. But that grind is a little extreme. I do like that the battle passes, I believe, do not ever expire. You can go back and unlock them anytime and play through them. That's something I want to see every single game have. That's something that Helldivers has, and you know I talk a lot of praise about Helldivers. So it seems strange that they would have such a great innovation there, and then also have some of the most grindy and overpriced things I've ever seen in a shop. The irony is not lost on me that while I'm making this, I'm also making a video game on a gacha game, ZZZ, which, as you know, gacha games also cost a whole lot of money, so overpriced video games are here to stay. But again, if you're buying this game at a discount and you're playing just the story, you don't need any of those extra things, so you can forget about all that. And if you do it just to play the story, enjoy the story, and do a couple fun things here and there, I still think it is a solid game. It is not a 10 out of 10. It is not a 9 out of 10. But if you're just judging it, again, at a discount, for playing the story and whatever else you find fun, at $30, I think it's a decent 7 out of 10. I think you will more than feel like you get your money's worth in that very specific set of scenarios. I know some people have called the city boring, but I actually think the city's got a lot of fun little things in it. It's kind of like Red Dead Redemption. If you race through everything, yeah, it's just like, okay, there's a lot of woods, there's a lot of empty dirt roads, like it's all the same thing. But if you take the time to actually like explore and look at the details and everything they've put into it, there's a lot of interesting things. There's a lot of buildings that are shaped like Batman, there's a lot of statues with detail, there's a lot of fun graffiti. I think it's worth exploring once. And if you have a strong enough system, the game does look pretty good. I almost wish that we had a photo mode so that we could enjoy some of those good looks, because there's a few screen caps that I think would have looked great if I could have gotten them. Now, as I was making this video, they just announced that they are going to delay Season 2 by a few weeks. Now, that itself does not bode well for the game, but during the interviews of them talking about delaying the game, they did restate they are insisting that they are going to continue to support the game through Season 4 at least, the one that they promised, and they did specifically say, and possibly beyond. So, even though they have lost quite a few members of the crew to Harry Potter, it sounds like, it does seem like they want to make good on their promise to keep supporting the game for at least, 6 more months, maybe a year? I have one more point to make, and maybe this is just me being overly optimistic. But we live in an era of video game redemption. Ever since No Man's Sky made the comeback of the century, and Cyberpunk made a great comeback as well, we see games come back from the brink all the time. And I think this could be one of those games that has a little bit of a redemption story. If they add a few new missions, they keep building on item sets and interesting loot, put in a few interesting characters, and most importantly, you, the players, vouch with a little bit of confidence and come and try the game, I think this could be a good game in a year. Or at least one that's worth the full price of the video game. But if everyone gets scared off by the bad ratings, which again, as I asserted at the beginning of the video, I think are unfair, I do not think it deserves this bad of a rating, then they'll never have a chance because too many people won't give it a chance. So do your part, buy the game on sale, play it, have some fun, enjoy the game, and continue to support it, and we're going to see a very good game within a year, mark my words. And now we've reached the part of the video that everyone hates. As a YouTuber, I'm obligated to say please like and subscribe the video, and have a blessed day.